The alarm goes off at 5 a.m., and for one heroic second, you're awake. This is the morning. This is the version of you that finally follows through. Then your thumb finds the snooze button on its own, like it belongs to someone you don't control, and you promise yourself 5 more minutes. You wake up at 8, the workout didn't happen. The plan you swore to last night is already a lie by breakfast, and somewhere in the back of your skull, that quiet voice says the thing you're terrified is true. Maybe I'm just not built for this. Here's what everyone will tell you about that morning. They'll say you're lazy, undisciplined, that you just don't want it badly enough. And that explanation is comfortable because if you're simply broken, you're off the hook. But it's wrong. You didn't fail because you lack willpower. You failed because nobody ever taught your brain how to read difficulty. And an untrained brain reads hard as danger and runs. Now fast forward 5 years. Same brain, same snooze button, same voice in the dark. Except now you're 5 years deeper into a life you never actually chose on purpose. That's the real threat. Not one bad morning, 10,000 of them stacked. So today we're fixing the machine, not the mood. 6 rules that build a mind so steady it makes other people uncomfortable just by existing. And by the end, you'll understand why that discomfort is the entire point. Rule 1. Stress isn't your enemy, so your read on it is. In 1979, a researcher named Suzanne Kabasa did something most self-help gurus never bother to do. She went and looked. She followed 837 executives at Illinois Bell while the whole U.S. telecom industry was being torn apart by deregulation, the kind of chaos that gives people ulcers and heart attacks. And it did, except for some of them. Same collapsing company, same pressure, completely different bodies. So what separated the ones who thrived? Not less stress. Kabasa found the strong ones felt it just as hard and their hearts raced too. They just didn't file it under catastrophe. They filed it under problem to solve. And here's the wild part. That same racing heart, that same flood of adrenaline does two opposite things depending on one word in your head. Call it a threat, and your blood vessels clamp down and you spiral. Call it a challenge, and the exact same arousal sharpens your focus instead. So next time your chest tightens before something hard, say it out loud. This is a puzzle, not a predator. Sounds stupid. It rewires the read, and the read is everything. Rule 2, control what's yours and ruthlessly drop the rest. Kabasa didn't find one trait in her survivors. She found 3, so clean that researchers still call them the 3 C's. The first is control. Not control over the economy, or your boss, or whether the company survives. Control over your response. Weak minds burn their fuel, raging at the parts of the storm they can't touch. Strong minds spend it only where it actually lands. So ask yourself right now about the things stressing you most. Which parts of this are mine to move? The traffic isn't. Leaving 10 minutes earlier is. The rumor of layoffs isn't. Updating your resume tonight is. Take whatever's eating you and split it straight down the middle, a mine column and a not mine column. Then pour 100% of your effort into the first and 0 into the second. People who do this don't just feel calmer. The research links these attitudes to a real buffer against stress-related illness because your nervous system can tell the difference between fighting a war and screaming at the weather. Rule 3, commit to something bigger than how you feel. Second C, commitment. Here's a blunt one. Your feelings are not in charge, and the day you fire them from management is the day your life turns. The people who fold under pressure are almost always the ones waiting to feel like it. Motivated, ready, inspired. That feeling isn't coming, or if it comes, it's late, unreliable, and it quits the second things get boring. Commitment means you're anchored to something, a goal, a person, a standard that pulls you forward even when your mood is on the floor. Kabasa's hardy executives stayed engaged with their work and their lives instead of pulling away and going numb. And numbness feels like protection. It's actually surrender, so pick one non-negotiable, just one. Something you do every single day, whether you feel electric or whether you feel like garbage. The workout, the pages, the practice. Show up sick, tired, bored, heartbroken, because you're not building a habit. You're building the identity of someone whose word to himself actually means something. And that person does not negotiate at 5 a.m. Rule 4, chase discomfort. Your brain is physically begging for it. Third C, challenge. And this is where it gets almost unfair. Your brain isn't a fixed object. It physically rewires itself based on what you demand of it. Neuroscientists call it neuroplasticity, and it cuts both ways. Give your brain hard, unfamiliar, uncomfortable problems, and it grows. New connections branching out. Gray matter measurably changing in a matter of weeks, not years. Give it endless comfort. The scroll, the couch, the same easy day on loop. And those same networks quietly wither. There is no neutral setting. You are always either growing or atrophying. And comfort is not the safe choice. It's just the slow death. That's why the third C reframes every hard thing as a chance to grow instead of a threat to survive. So do one deliberately uncomfortable thing a day. Cold shower, hard conversation, the problem you keep dodging, the skill that makes you feel stupid. Small is fine, daily is not optional, you're not punishing yourself. You're sending your brain the one signal that switches growth on. Comfort whispers that you've arrived. You haven't. Rule 5, stop recruiting sympathy. Start recruiting solutions. Now here's the one nobody wants to hear. Kabasa found something genuinely uncomfortable in her data. When the low hardiness people reached out for support, it often made them worse. Not better, worse. Because they went looking for someone to agree that it was hopeless, and every sympathetic nod deepened the feeling of being a victim. The strong ones reached out too, but for something completely different. They wanted useful help, a specific answer from someone who'd been there, advice, not a pity party. You see the difference? One person vents to feel least alone in the pit. The other asks a sharp question to climb out of it. Venting feels productive. Mostly it just rehearses the problem until the groove is carved deeper. So next time you catch yourself about to unload on a friend, stop and turn the complaint into one concrete ask. Not everything's falling apart, but you've done this before. What's the first thing you do? You'll be shocked how fast it flips the conversation and how fast it flips you. Rule 6, train it because it was never genetics. And if you're sitting there thinking some people are just born with this, you're half right, and the other half is the part that saves you. Yes, temperament plays a role, but hardiness isn't a birthmark, it's trainable. Maddie and the researchers who built on Kabasa's work created actual programs, hardy training, and showed these attitudes can be taught, practiced, and measurably strengthened in ordinary adults. And your biology backs you up. Remember, structural change in the brain shows up in weeks. It also compounds. Research on cognitive reserve suggests that people who keep challenging their minds across a lifetime can stay mentally sharp 2 to 3 times longer, even when age starts attacking the hardware. So don't try to overhaul your entire personality tonight. Commit to running these rules for a set stretch, say the next few weeks, like reps in a gym. You wouldn't expect one push-up to change your body. Stop expecting one good day to change your mind. Consistency is the whole mechanism. Boring, repeatable, unglamorous consistency. Now, why did I promise you a mind that scares people? Here's the strange truth. When you stop flinching at hard things, when you stop venting and start solving, when your word to yourself becomes unbreakable, some people around you will get uncomfortable. Not because you're aggressive, because you've become a mirror. Your steadiness quietly exposes every excuse they've been leaning on, and that's unsettling to anyone who isn't ready to look. That's the intimidation. It was never about being cold or hard or scary. A mind that scares people is just a mind that stopped making excuses out loud in a world that runs on them. And the beautiful part, the people worth keeping won't be scared. They'll be magnetized. They'll ask you how. Don't settle for your baseline. Go beyond it.